Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that keeps millions of new parents up at night, literally, the secret life of baby sleep.
You know, if you're a new parent, this feels like the world's most frustrating puzzle, right? One night you get a solid few hours. The next, they're up every 45 minutes. It feels totally random. But what if I told you it's not chaos at all? What if it's this incredible story of biological development just playing out in real time?
All right, so let's put on our detective hats and dive in. Scientists are finding clues in the most unexpected places. We're talking the womb, the brain, and yeah, even the gut, to finally figure out what's really going on when a baby falls asleep.
Okay, first up, the 60-minute sleep clock. Our first big clue, believe it or not, isn't in the brain. It's a kind of hidden stopwatch deep in the body, a rhythm generator called an ultradian rhythm.
So, you've heard of the circadian clock, right? That's our 24-hour cycle. Well, these ultradian rhythms are way shorter. And what's really cool is how scientists figured out how to track them in babies. A 2025 study found this super clever method. No fancy brain scans, just measuring how still the baby's leg is. Simple, but brilliant.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference here. We adults, we run on about a 90-minute sleep cycle, but babies, their clock is way faster, about 60 minutes. So that's why they seem to wake up or stir so much more often. It's not random, it's just a shorter cycle. And check this out. That clock actually changes over time. The study followed these babies for a year and saw their sleep cycle get longer, by about 10 minutes. It's like watching their internal sleep system literally mature and get stronger right there in the data. Just incredible.
So, the big question is, where does this clock even come from? Well, it turns out the whole story starts way before the baby is even born. I mean, much, much earlier. This is just wild. In another groundbreaking 2025 preprint, researchers put sensors on pregnant mothers' bellies to track fetal movement, and they found something amazing. The amount a fetus was active during the day versus the night, that was the #1 predictor of the baby's sleep patterns after birth. Think about that. The preference for sleeping at night starts before they even take their first breath.
And get this, it's not just the baby. The mom's habits matter a lot. The study showed that moms with more regular sleep schedules during pregnancy had babies who were better night sleepers after birth. So the environment in the womb is literally training the baby's internal clock.
Okay, so that shaping process obviously doesn't just stop at birth. The moment the baby arrives, the environment keeps wiring their sleeping brain, and one of the biggest factors seems to be where the baby sleeps.
A 2023 study used EEG to peek inside the sleeping baby's brain, and what they found was fascinating. Babies who co-slept, sleeping in the same room or bed as their parents, showed greater coherence. Now that's just a fancy word for how well different parts of the brain are talking to each other. So it seems like that physical closeness during sleep actually helps those important brain networks wire themselves up.
All right, so we've got the body's internal clock, we've got the brain, but just when you think you've got it figured out, the story takes a huge turn. Our next set of clues comes from the gut.
Yeah, that's right. We're now finding out there's this powerful two-way highway connecting the gut, the brain, and sleep. And this connection gets built right from the first few months of life. Turns out, it's way more important than we ever thought.
And the evidence for this is just stacking up. For example, one study found that babies who napped a lot during the day had less diverse gut bacteria. Another one showed that babies with regular mealtimes didn't just wake up less at night, they also had more diverse gut microbes. It's like a rhythm in eating helps create a rhythm in sleeping.
But honestly, this next clue is probably the most mind-blowing of all. Remember that 2025 study that tracked sleep from the womb? Well, they also looked at melatonin levels, and what they found was that the concentration of melatonin, the main sleep hormone, was over 20 times higher in a baby's poop than in their mom's breast milk. 20 times! This is an absolute game changer. What it suggests is that the baby's gut might actually be its own little melatonin factory, making its own sleep signals from the inside out. It's like a second brain, dedicated to sleep, working right alongside the actual brain. So why does all this matter? Why go through all this detective work? Because once you understand these hidden connections, the body clock, the brain, the gut, you can go from just watching and waiting to actually supporting sleep in brand new ways. And that's exactly what's happening. The research is now asking, can we do something about this? Can we actively help? And that's the whole point of a new clinical trial called the NAP Biome trial.
Here's the plan. It's actually pretty straightforward. They're going to give babies a daily symbiotic, that's basically a mix of good bacteria, or a placebo for 3 months. Then they'll track everything, their sleep, their brain development, their gut microbes, all the way up to 2 years old, to see if giving them a little boost right at the start makes a long-term difference.
Which leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about, doesn't it? Could a healthy gut be the real prescription for a good night's sleep? It suggests that the secret isn't just about routines and blackout curtains, but about nurturing this tiny, invisible world inside our babies. Maybe the answer has been right there, inside them, the whole time.